Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm here doing a little bit of foraging. It's a hot day. I want to make a nice cool soda, and that's going to take a few days to make, so I want to do a little bit of wild foraging today. And today I'm going to make the soda with some pretty basic ingredients: water, honey, and some wild foraged ingredients like this linden behind me, or basswood. So linden, I don't know if you know it, but the flowers are actually edible. They are it's a beautiful smell. The honeybees love it. And we're gonna be using that to sweeten my wild soda today. So I'm gonna grab a few fresh linden flowers today. Linden flower is a favorite food of honeybees. You can see the pollen sacs on the bees' little pants there. Well, he disappeared. Here, yeah. Very important bee food. Our pollinators do so much. So I'm gonna grab some of these, just about a handful or so. I mean, honestly, not that much. It's a really strong, sweet flavor. So we're gonna grab some of these. I'm also looking for another flower to sweeten my brew. Let's go check it out. This is Staghorn Sumac. So take a look at that. As you can see, it looks like a horn, a big red horn. And we're going to take probably one of these or so. So we're gonna need this. This is gonna add a really nice flavor. You can actually make just a really nice tea out of this. I'm gonna make a soda using these. It's gonna flavor our soda, give it a beautiful color as well, beautiful red color. Now, really important, this is a Staghorn Sumac. There are toxic varieties of sumac. You do not want to make that mistake. But this one's pretty characteristic, and there's a lot of it near me. And remember, when you're out foraging, be 100% sure about what you're foraging. You do not want to be guessing at what something is. So make sure that you have some really good books to help you out for identifying your ingredients to make your wild sodas and your wild foraged meals. So that's just my little special announcement. Well, as I'm foraging around, take a look at this. This is some black walnut. This is not going to go in our drink, but I can keep my eye on these. I'm going to harvest these a little bit later in the season. A lot of processing involved. I did a whole video on how to make preserve black walnuts. So stay tuned. These are still growing. I've got a bit more time to collect them. Now, my wild soda will have some fruit in it. Here are some black raspberries. Yummy. I'm actually going to be using some strawberries in today's recipe, but I can't resist harvesting some of these just to eat. So good. Just like a raspberry. I don't know if it's a little bit grapey-ish in taste, but totally like raspberries. If I was blindfolded, I would not know that they are black raspberry. Very, very tasty. So let's head into the kitchen with what I foraged today, and we'll get started on our soda. So I've placed the Staghorn Sumac and the linden flowers in my jar here, and oh, the smell is amazing. It is the most beautiful floral bouquet that is coming out of this jar, let me tell you. Next, I'm going to add some strawberries as well. That's going to add some color. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to dissolve about a cup to a cup and a half of raw unpasteurized honey. This one's from Halcyon Farms down in Ponsonby, from a friend of mine and fellow subscriber. So we're going to dissolve that in some distilled water. You don't want to use water that has chlorine in it or anything, because it may affect your wild brew. I'm just going to dissolve it in a bit of water here before putting it into the 4-liter jug. And the thing about unpasteurized honey is it's going to have all your wild yeast in there. So this is just a powerhouse of nutrition right here. So the water is ready. Basically, it's honey water. So I'm just going to pour this in. And this is going to give us our sugar. It's going to feed the yeast, and it's going to give us our wild yeast source. So this is exciting. So we're going to fill it up basically all the way. I think I'm going to add a titch more water. All right, let's add a little bit more just to bring it up a bit. Perfect. So what you want to do next is cover this up with some cheesecloth, and I have an elastic here to secure it. And there we go. So it's secured now. That way the fruit flies can't get in there. If you get fruit flies in there, you will get vinegar. And if you get other bugs in there, you will get a spoiled soda. That's happened to me before. I had dewberry soda and I was so excited, and then it was rank. I found, there was a black fly or two in there, but it really spoiled it. So do not close the jar just yet. What we're gonna do is take a peek at this. We're gonna stir it a couple times a day, and then once we start seeing some active bubbling, we'll strain out our flavorants, and we'll bottle it and store it to make soda. Well, here we are 3 days later from the last segment in the video, and you can see that we've got a lot of action. Let's take a look. So it has been fermenting now for the last 3 days. You'll see all that foam. That's the gases produced from the yeast. Daily I've been kind of doing a little bit of a stir there. And look at that. Woo-wee! It's the carbonation you're going to get in your wild soda. So today's the day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this into sort of some bottles here for the second stage of the fermentation process, where the wild soda will get a bit carbonated. Now right now it smells nice and sweet, floral, and it has a little bit of a fermented smell to it, which is fine. That's what you want. That's what we're going for here today. Lots of healthy probiotics in there for you for your GI health. So let's get started. I want to strain out you know, obviously the strawberry and the linden flower, and of course the sumac. So I'm going to do that first. So what I have is a pitcher, and I've got this funnel set up for now. Let's make it a little bit easier. And it's got a bit of a strainer in the bottom. So let's pour that in there. And sometimes when it gets stuck, you just have to use a little chopstick like I'm using to clear the drain. Okay, we're all done. It fit in the pitcher pretty exactly. So I've just washed out some bottles with some hot water and soap. You can see it's kind of a little steamy in there still. It's got a couple of swing tops here, but another one in the background, and another one of these jugs. So we're going to pop these in here. There might be a few little things that escaped our strainer, but that's okay. It's all edible after all. You're going to want to leave a little bit of a gap, because it will kind of still going to keep fermenting, and then you're going to want to seal this right up. But you can't forget about it. The key to these swing tops is that we're going to leave this out another day or so, and this is going to force we're going to ferment a bit more, and it's going to force some of the carbonation into the drink. Okay, so I've got a few bottles here. There's a little bit extra. Might actually just drink that, put in the fridge and drink it in a little bit. Won't be as carbonated as these guys, but we're gonna leave these now for a day or so, maybe a little bit more, depending. It's pretty warm in the house, so it's still gonna ferment a little bit more. Probably can't see it too well, but if you stare really closely at the foam line and the drink, you can see stuff, little bubbles going up. That's the action of the yeast and the gases coming up. What am I going to do with the rest of this now that it's all done? Well, feed it to the quail. Fermented goodness. It's all non-toxic for them, so they're going to enjoy this. It'll be good for their guts. All right, here we are, 7 days later. Nice hot day. Let's give this a try. So as I'm going to pour this, I'm just putting a little strainer over top, because there's a few little, pips of the sumac and the strawberry in there. Let's give this a try. All right, it's looking good. Pouring this over some ice. So this one is a week old. It's not super duper fizzy. I'd probably give it an extra week. But let's try this. It's nice and hot out, so I'm looking forward to a cool drink. I'm just going to show you guys there is a bit of fizz in there. You can see that. Of course, the longer you leave it, it can get really fizzy, but I don't like a lot of my sodas with too much carbonation in them. This one's naturally carbonated, obviously, from the yeast. But just has a nice little fizz in there to just get that good smack at the back of your tongue. Well, cheers. Let's give this a try. Oh yeah, this is excellent. Linden flower, I cannot recommend that enough. So good. You can make a syrup out of the flowers as well. And even just the small amount that I had in here, really big flavor. Very floral, nice and sweet, but not too much. And then light pink color, from the sumac in there. Oh, this is great. You got to try this out. This is so good. I'm glad I made a few bottles of it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I learned how to make wild soda, naturally carbonated with wild yeast, and flavoring it with the flavors of your local forest community. So yeah, feel free to experiment. Anything that's edible can go into your wild soda. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comments. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.